Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome back to Rabbits. We are in Season 2, Episode 9, Part 4 of Atom Love Bomb. We're getting through this. We're almost done. Finding out everything that's gonna be to be found out, I guess. Just a reminder, on the weekends, I post one video on Saturday and one video on Sunday, and they're full episodes of Welcome to Night Vale. Hope you enjoy those. Go check them out if you get a chance. So, without further ado, let's get into this thing.
I examined the mess of scraps of paper, numbers, symbols, bits of old classified ads.
The old murder wall. Conspiracy murder wall at that.
Pages from phone books. There was a lot, including a section featuring a few different colored strings pulled across maps.
And that's where we get to our conspiracy part of the murder board. You've seen the meme of the guy going like this, and you have the murder board in the background. That's kind of what that reminds me of, is that meme.
Two of those strings looked familiar. Have you looked into this material through the lens of Meacham radiance?
What?
These two lines, following the red strings, they're Meacham radiance, right?
What?
I think they just kind of touched on the Meacham radiance in the first season. I'm not sure right offhand without going back and checking.
What do you mean?
Isn't Meacham the ley lines guy?
Kind of, but Meacham came later. First there was Alfred Watkins and his ley lines. Decades later, Meacham believed something he'd discovered, something he called radiance.
Yeah, I think they just barely touched on the Meacham stuff in the first season. Just kind of skimmed over it.
We're connected to a field of hidden energy hidden beneath the world.
Hidden.
Yeah, it's pretty out there, but these two lines, your red thread lines here, run exactly along the same lines as two of Meacham's key radiants.
Yeah, you never know.
But those two lines aren't following any lines specifically. That's just where we've discovered a bunch of clues connected to the game.
What
There we go. The connection.
kind of clues?
The circle and the phrase, the door is open.
And a bunch of other stuff.
So yeah, we are getting into the nitty-gritty.
Why are these two strings red and the others blue and green?
Those two lines are where we've discovered the most incidents by volume.
How do you judge by volume? I mean, is it okay within from point A to off this tangent we've got X number, or then from point A out this tangent we got so many? Then is it how do you figure the volume on that?
What are you thinking?
I don't know. Is it possible that this stuff might be connected to Meacham's radiance?
Kind of looks like it might be.
It could be.
Do you think that information might be able to help us find the Traveler?
It can't hurt.
No, it can't hurt, but in this rabbit's universe, there's no sometimes what can and can't hurt you aren't always what you think they are.
And so, the three of us sat down and Carly explained where they were at with their map.
I like that background where you hear that faint, you have the music, but you hear like a faint voice in the background. And it's not really saying anything, but it's saying everything. It's kind of cool.
It all started back when I was playing the 9th iteration of the game, right near the end. Jones was gone. I'd spoken with the Gatwick Games guy, and I was wrapping everything up with Nick and the Public Radio Alliance. I met with the magician, and he wasn't himself. Something
was weird. And when we get, we'll get to more of his weirdness. If not in the next episode, and definitely when we get into the first novel.
Was bothering him.
What was it?
Like Jones, the magician had discovered something was off with the game. Something wasn't right.
It had become corrupt.
Not exactly.
No?
No, I mean, yes, that's what we all believed at first, but I'm not sure that was the case.
So what was really going on?
The game was being manipulated by somebody.
The game... Interesting. The very first time I listened to this there's nuances in this particular section that resonate when we get to the novel. That's it, and like I said, the first time I listened to it, I just never picked up on it, and now that I'm listening to it again, I'm like, oh, okay, this will be a factor, and that's interesting.
The Traveler.
Bingo.
It's a theory.
Manipulating to what end?
We're not sure, but
it's not the Traveler that's the significant thing. It's the manipulation of the game. Though, I guess technically, I don't know. I'm trying not to spoil the novel.
But right after my experience playing the 9th iteration, it became harder and harder to find the clues, to play the game.
Is this when you sent Nick the audio for the last episode of Season 1? When you claimed you'd seen the circle in a store that used to be the Magician's Arcade? Carly.
Somebody's kind of getting fuzzing out there.
Right around that time, yes. Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Could I hear some of what you've recorded for your show?
Sure, why not?
When Violet hacked into my computer, I assumed she'd made a copy.
Guilty.
She didn't play.
I was like, yep, made a copy. Didn't play it, but
You that stuff already?
I tried.
I'm not interested in hearing it without your permission.
No. That is some ethical hacking.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
So?
So you want to hear it now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay. So I pulled up all of my files, premixes, raw interviews, the whole thing, and the three of us sat down and went through everything. Again. When we'd reached the end, Carly stood up and asked me a question.
Yes, sometimes the simplest questions are the hardest ones to answer. But I forget what kind of question Carly asks her.
What do you know about Dr. Zoe Yanich?
Only what I was able to find online. She was a researcher at a university in the Pacific Northwest. She died under mysterious circumstances.
So, We have a person, a researcher or scientist type person, dying under mysterious circumstances from the Pacific Northwest. Where they, guess what? They're in the Pacific Northwest. So the plot thickens. And we'll go ahead and call this good here. Like I said, a reminder on the Saturday and Sundays doing the Night Vale episodes. And until next time, remember to be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?